Now, the fourth one is a very powerful phrase, and it's got to do with our friends. We heard in an earlier session, Kylie mentioned the term dream crushers. Well, I use the term dream stealers. A lot of our friends will steal our dreams, so you need to be very careful who you share your dreams with and who you share your goals with, because some people will try and talk you out of it. Why? Kylie?
Either they're afraid to fail, or they're envious of the fact that you can actually
Yeah.
do something and they're afraid you're going to get further and
Move ahead. Yeah, so sometimes they're afraid you're going to fail and they have your best interest in mind, or they're afraid that if you move ahead, they'll be left behind. So, here's a really powerful phrase. I'm going to suggest that you surround yourself with friends who expect more of you than you do of yourself. Surround yourself with friends who expect more of you than you have ever expected of yourself. In other words, friends with high expectations. Friends who believe in you. Friends who will encourage you and support you and truly believe in you, perhaps more than you believe in yourself. Very unique people, but you can find them. These people will support you in the achievement of your goals. Now, back in 1990, I was going through a tough period in my life, and well-meaning friends would invite me over to have dinner. And when I'd go over and have dinner, I'd inevitably be asked, how's it going? And I liked that question because it gave me an opportunity to tell my sad, sad tale one more time. Do some of you know people like that? Wallowing in pity. I mean, I'm not proud to say this, but this is what I was doing. And I've never experienced anything like this before in my life, because right from an early age, I've always been highly motivated, achieving, doing things. And this was the first major setback I'd ever had in my life, and it was totally devastating to me. To lose my family, business, assets. I avoided bankruptcy because it took me 4 years or 5 years to work out of it afterwards, but pretty bad stuff. And my friends would invite me over to have dinner, and I'd tell my sad, sad tale looking for what? Sympathy. Guess what I used to get a lot of? Sympathy. Now, sympathy from our friends actually helps us to stay here. I had some well-meaning friends who gave me extra ideas to put on my list of reasons for not doing well. Things I hadn't even thought of. They gave them to me. They didn't realize I had this list, and I didn't consciously have this list. One well-meaning friend said to me, Wayne, I really do know what you're going through. A friend of mine went through the same thing. Still hasn't recovered from it. Totally devastated. I said, really? Tell me more. He said, well, look, the guy lives up in Shepparton. Had a successful business, lost his family. He's a wreck. I could relate to that. I said, how long ago was that? He said, 7 years. He gave me an answer that I was wondering about, like, how long am I going to feel miserable? Will I ever get through this? Have any of you been down so low that all you really wanted to know was, can I get through this and when am I going to come out the other end? I won't ask for a show of hands, but I see some of you nodding, you've been that low. And he gave me the answer, 7 years. And I thought, 7 years. See, most of our friends in life, when we tell them how tough it is, are very, very reasonable. We tell them life's not fair, they say, you're right, it's not. It's tough. In fact, wasn't it one of our prime ministers said life wasn't meant to be easy? Great. So, I was going through this tough period. I was trying to find myself, I guess, and I used to find myself fairly frequently in bars late at night. Now, that was not like me. I had been in a relationship since about age 18, for 18 years, so I was mid-30s at that point. And I had not been single, and I'd been very stable. And I must admit, I was in a bar one night, actually a coffee shop bar in South Yarra, Chapel Street, South Yarra, in Melbourne. And I was having a coffee. I'm not a big drinker, I never have been, and I really wasn't back in those days either, but it makes a good story, doesn't it? You know? But I'm in Chapel Street, South Yarra, in a restaurant cafe down there called the Casbah. Maybe some of you know it, it's still there. And this person came up to me all bright and chirpy and said, didn't you used to be Wayne Berry? Now, did they really say that? No. But that's what it sounded like to me. I guess they said, are you Wayne Berry? Or, because I'm feeling like a has-been. Imagine this, like I'm in the personal growth, personal development business, bringing out all these American speakers, and I've managed to mess my life up better than anyone I knew at the time. You know, what a great advertisement for my business. And they said, I come to all the seminars. I haven't received any brochures from you for a little while. Who you got coming out next? I mean, I must have dropped off your mailing list. I said, haven't you heard? They said, no, what? I said, you got a few minutes? I wanted to tell my sad, sad tale. I was really good at doing this. And I guess I was looking for sympathy again. I started to tell them my sad, sad tale. They sat across the table from me and they looked at me and they didn't say very much. Now, this was not the normal response that I was used to. I was used to getting all of the sympathy and they were just listening quietly. And finally, at the end of my presentation, and let me tell you, it was a presentation, they finally said, so what have you done about it since then? This was not the response I was expecting. What have you done about it since then? What had I done? Developed my sad, sad story. I mean, that's about it. I had not done much to move out of that. And they said, well, what's your plan? Plan? What do you mean? Well, your plan for getting from, you know, getting out of it and getting your life back in order again. And I suddenly remembered I had an appointment. I didn't really, but I excused myself and said, look, I've got to go. And they obtained my telephone number and I got their telephone number, and funny thing is, the next day around about 1 o'clock, the phone rang and it was this person. They were bright and chirpy, which I really didn't like because I was still in bed. Because that was my plan of action, right? I'd go out late at night trying to find myself and then sleep in, avoid most of the day and then repeat the cycle. And they said, hi, it's me, you got that plan together yet? So who is this? You remember last night we were talking, you said, you know, that you get a plan together. And I didn't remember actually agreeing to get a plan together, but they said, no, you know, you got to get a plan together. So, oh, okay, well, thank you, I really appreciate that. Now, I'll cut a long story short here because they phoned me every single day. I can't remember whether it was for 4 days, 7 days, it was quite a few days. But I do remember it got progressively earlier. Until one day I got out of bed early expecting the call, and sure enough the call came through I think about 8 o'clock in the morning. And they said, hey, have you got that plan together yet? And I said, yes, I have. I really appreciate your interest. I'm inspired. I've got that plan together. Thank you very much. They said, great, I'm coming over. We'll have a look at it together. Now I'm a loser and a liar because I didn't have a plan together. And I remember I put them off until the afternoon. They came over in the afternoon and I thought, what am I going to do? I had from 8 o'clock that morning till the afternoon. You know what? It doesn't really take you long to get a plan together once you decide to get a plan together, once you make that commitment to put a plan together. And I sat down and I thought about, well, what resources do I have available to me? What would I do if I really wanted to do something? And I decided that I was passionate about sales. I discovered some new technology through Robert Kiyosaki called accelerated learning. I discovered something called neuro-linguistic programming. And I believed that Australia needed a training program uniquely for salespeople, presented by an Australian, and there wasn't a good one at the time. And I thought, that's what I think I'd like to do. Now, there are a few little barriers in the way. Number one, I had never written a program before. Number two, I'd never written a book before. Number three, I had zero presentation skills, and I've told you in this program earlier today that I used to introduce the American speakers standing on the platform, shaking. I was not a presenter, speaking to groups of people. Didn't have that skill developed at all. So it was a pretty ambitious plan. They came over in the afternoon, I showed them the plan. They said, I think it's a good plan. When's your first seminar? I was, well, hang on, you know. Well. I said, no, we got to set a date, right? This is my seminars coming back at me, I guess. They'd been and they'd seen Dennis Waitley, and you've got to set a date, right? So we got the diary out, we set a date, 21st of September. I beg your pardon, 21st of October. (2001). No, it wasn't, I beg your pardon, 1991. Getting ahead of myself here. 1991. Forgetting which century I'm in now. And this person said, well, we've got to book a venue. Venue? Now, I was broke at the time, so we found a place that hadn't heard about me. And we booked it. It was a church hall in West Melbourne. I mean, you know, really down market, but they hadn't heard. Because I had zero money, really, at the time. And we actually contacted my old printer, and he said, look, I'll print brochures for you. I believe in you, which is good. Jerry always had believed in me and always supported me. We printed some brochures, we distributed the brochures. Cut a long story short, we got 32 people on the first program. And it was a success and led us to what we're doing today. Now the point is, this person got on my case. This person was not reasonable, this person was extremely unreasonable. And some of you have heard me talk about this concept of having unreasonable friends. This person, as I look back, was one of a number of unreasonable friends I had in my life at the time. There was another unreasonable friend, his name was Michael, and I'd known Michael for a very long time, and Michael used to get on my case as well. He used to tell me the truth. He used to tell me not to kid myself. He used to push me. You see, an unreasonable friend will do something that most people will not do. They will tell you the truth. And this new friend really got on my case and told me the truth. But this was a person who expected more of me than I expected of myself. This person thought I was somebody. This person believed in Wayne Berry because of what I'd done in the past. I'd lost all my confidence in myself. My self-esteem was at an all-time low. This person believed in me. They were also caring enough to tell me the truth. And sometimes you've got to hear the truth. So here's what I'm saying. You are better off in life if you surround yourself with unreasonable friends who expect more of you than you've ever expected of yourself. They will encourage you, they will support you, they will not let you kid yourself. When you start to do this stuff, they will point that out to you. Because this person had actually been to the same program, not the same program exactly, not the one that I was on, but had been to a Robert Kiyosaki program where he spoke about this lay, blame, justify stuff. So this person looked at my plan and said, I think it's a really good plan. I think I'll work with you on this. This person was pretty bored. They worked for a company, very successful salesperson, sales manager, had been involved in training, and said, look, I'll work with you on this. I'd like to be involved in this. And this person became managing director of our company and made a much better managing director than I did because I'm good at what I'm good at, but I wasn't particularly good managing director, managing people and finances and that sort of stuff.